You are about to view the video podcast for Center for Spiritual Living. If you find value in what you receive here, consider supporting us by clicking the Contribute button now. And know that all that you give to CSL returns right back to your life, multiplied abundantly. Blessings.
You all have created 7 core values, and they are the values about which we teach on Sundays and the guides by which we live. And these 7 core values are love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. And today we're talking about the core value of healing. Healing, I think, in its typical or traditional way of being seen is perhaps to fix something that's broken. But healing spiritually and healing what we teach here at Center for Spiritual Living is revealing that was already there, the health that has not either been noticed or celebrated. Ernest Holmes, our founder, said that we have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle of our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed, and prosperous in a new light and a new life. So the reason we come together every Sunday is to experience that sense of that new light and new life that's already within us. Yesterday, I held a day of silence, and it was quite profound for us to stop the busyness and notice what was already there that we had not noticed because we'd been moving too quickly. It's been said that if you can't see what you're looking for, see what is there. During our walking meditation, I walked past one of the trees that I seemed to walk past pretty quickly for the last year because I really hadn't even noticed it. I hadn't noticed the flowers and the bark and the leaves, and I hadn't even stopped long enough to sort of connect with this beautiful tree that has been given to me, as nature has been given to us. And it's interesting with healing, when we stop, another experience comes true. It's sort of like allowing ourselves to be surprised and curious, and the healing happens in the midst of that surprise. Hold on one moment. I guess my surprise would be reading small print without my glasses. So the reading I'd like to read in this sense of healing, and I invite you to be in that idea of that child within. The gift of surprise is what it's called. Another name for God is surprise. While rushing to complete your dearest plans that you tell no one, you can bump into another and groceries will fly, and while picking up the ketchup, you might fall in love. Or in your second year of college, while studying what mommy and daddy wanted you to be, you can accidentally open a book on Albert Schweitzer and discover that you feel compelled to go to Africa. Or understanding geometry, you might decide to become a gardener, finding endless joy in creating landscapes. Or the death of your grandmother might open a side of you that is starving for history. In my case, losing a rib to cancer made me discover the Adam in me. It seems that in any moment of interest or pain or adversity can surprise us into the larger totality of life, breaking our current limits and allowing us the chance to redefine ourselves in regard to the larger sense that is upon us, that we are opened so suddenly, so often, is the way the soul unfolds on earth. We can never be prepared for everything. No one person can anticipate all of life. In fact, over-preparation is yet another way to wall ourselves in from life. Rather, we can only prepare for how we respond to the gift of surprise that more often moves in on us faster than our reflex to resist. Life is surprising, thank God. And God, the chance to know oneness, lives in surprise. For God is seldom in our plans, but always in the unexpected. Healing is our core value.
What if it all depended on me to change the world, change the world? What if my only responsibility was to change the world, change the world? Let me be the one to start a revolution. Let me sing my song to the people of the world. It all begins with one, the power of one. Joining the hundreds of millions of people believing in one, the power of one. Don't hang around, stand up or sit down and believe we can change the world. Together, we can change the world. Together. I know y'all want to clap your hands, I can see it. Yeah. What kind of love can conquer disease and change the world? Change the world. What can I do to make poverty history and change the world? Change the world. Let me be the one to start a revolution. Let me sing my song to the people of the world, to the children of the world. It all begins with one, the power of one. Joining the hundreds of millions of people believing in one, the power of one. Don't hang around, stand up or sit down and believe we can change the world. Together, we can change the world. Together. Don't close your eyes, please don't turn away. Display and make a difference now.
Make a difference now.
I believe you and me can make a difference now. Oh, whoa, come on. Whoa, oh, all begins with one, the power of one. Joining the hundreds of millions of people believing in one, the power of one. So don't hang around, stand up or sit down and believe we can change the world. Together, we can change the world. Together, we can change the world. Together. Can make it better, better with one. Yes.
My turn. Good morning, CSL. So we have dedicated a whole month of Sundays, literally, to learning more about the art of abundance. It's not really a science as much as it is an art. And teaching people how to live a more prosperous life is one of the things that I enjoy the most because I had to learn it myself. I didn't come from money or from people who knew much about money, but by using the principles of this teaching and this teaching alone, I managed to find my way to a rich, full life. So today's lesson is about how you can do exactly the same thing. Okay, so I looked it up. What do you think Oprah Winfrey's net worth is? Do you think it's $1 billion? $2 billion? It's $3 billion. Yes. Yeah. I love me some Oprah Winfrey. How about the spiritual guru Deepak Chopra? He's in the same business I am. What do you think his worth is financially? Do you know if Oprah Winfrey married Deepak Chopra, she'd be Oprah Chopra? But she wouldn't be that much richer because he's only worth $110 million. I actually like to study and learn from affluent people. I think if you really want to be a good lover, you should hang around people who know how to love. If you want to increase your self-esteem, get to know people who are confident and faithful. Hang with them, study them, learn what they know. You know, the Christians always ask, what would Jesus do? But if you want to live a life of abundance, maybe you should be asking, what would Oprah do? Because she seems to have the 411 on it. And the one thing that I think we can all agree on is Oprah is a woman of great passion. She does not live a life of status quo, getting up every day, going to a job that she hates, sitting in some corporate cubicle waiting for accounting to deliver a payroll check every 2 weeks. That's not what she does. She is driven by vision, by her passion, and by her purpose in life. And I think we would all do well to follow that example because it gets to the same result. Everybody wants to be rich. Everybody wants a full life filled with an abundance of all good things, including financial wealth and a healthy body and true love and peace of mind. We want it all, don't we? And the truth is, we actually can have it all if we are willing to provide the consciousness that is open and receptive to it. And that's where our work comes in, and that's why most people aren't living a rich, full life. It's not because they don't want it, everybody wants it, but few are willing to dig down into the trenches and do the necessary work that creates the infrastructure of a consciousness that attracts wellness. We're told to seek first the kingdom of heaven, and then all else will be added. Seek first the knowing of your rightful place in life and your relationship to the source of all good in life, and then everything else you want will come into your life without struggle. You've got to build the infrastructure first, the consciousness of abundance. It's Emerson who said 150 years ago that God will not have his work made manifest by cowards. And that means that only the bold, the passionate, and the courageous will know what it's like to stand on the foundation of a faith that does not waver based upon the doctor's diagnosis or whether somebody likes you today or not, or what the Dow Jones Industrial is doing this week. They are grounded in faith because they are grounded in source. And source is the infinite, free-flowing source of spirit whose endless supply cannot be blocked and cannot be stopped. And they live well because they started at the beginning, at the bottom, just like everybody else does, and they built their way up. They started with a foundation, and on top of it built the infrastructure of a consciousness that then, get this, automatically attracts wealth, automatically attracts us, so they don't have to struggle and fight and strategize to get it. So if even everybody else falls in a pile of crap, they will come out smelling like a rose. Do you want to be one of them? What? Do you want to be the person who automatically attracts wealth, goodness, and prosperity? Do you? Do you? Do you? All right. It's good because I can help. First thing you start with is passion, an intense desire for a greater life. Passion is the rocket fuel of consciousness. It's what will propel you forward when all the obstacles appear. Passion is what would lift you higher than the most, just as it did Oprah. She didn't start at the top. She started at the bottom with very humble beginnings. She didn't come up to bat ready to play the game. She arrived with strikes against her. You know the story, a broken home, sexually abused, addiction, and deep self-esteem issues. But it was her passion for life that kept driving her through all that and lifting her higher and helped overcome and heal the past. Passion, the first ingredient necessary for success. Without it, you're running on empty. You know, we have a book of the month. And this month, the author of our book of the month, The Art of Abundance, wrote this. He said, "It is a self-perpetuating surge of energy that keeps you tirelessly coming back for more and always with a smile on your face." I hope that everyone in this room or who can hear my voice today has had a lover like that. Someone who kept you tirelessly coming back for more and put a smile on your face. And if you haven't had that kind of passion in your life, you will. The day will come, you will meet someone that'll make you want to pay their mortgage. You will. Passionate, romantic love. The kind that all romance novels are written about. You know the scene. It's the scene in a movie with the couple sitting up in bed with their hair all messed up, but they got a big smile on their face. We know about passion driven by love. It's wonderful, and it can be the basis for a good relationship. Passion driven by love is constructive. You can build on it. You can start there and create a long-term, healthy relationship with anything or anybody you love, whether it's a person or a career. But here's the flip side and the danger warning. Equally so, passion driven by fear can be destructive. In fact, it will destroy everything you built. It will take you down and take your life. It's the source of addiction. We have a history of it in our country, you know. Presidents and preachers who are passionate but driven by fear. And you know what? It's interesting to watch, to live long enough to watch. They all end up exactly the same way. Disgraced by the very society they are in and dismissed in our history books as irrelevant. So even though passion is the starting point for all creation, it is the first brick you lay in your foundation of a consciousness that attracts wealth. Its motivation has to be love, not fear. You get it? Okay, now we can move on. I'm a study of world religions because I think there's a thread of truth that runs through every one of them. And I like to pluck out that thread of truth and find the wisdom that can propel us forward in life. There's a principle in Buddhism called right livelihood. It's actually the fifth step on the eightfold path that the Buddha outlined towards enlightenment. Right livelihood means to match who you are with what you do in life. It's all about spending your time in life doing what you love, doing that one thing that you can do like nobody else in the world can do. using that God-given talent that you possess, or I should rightly say, possesses you. When you match who you are with what you do in life, the result is always prosperity, always. Henry David Thoreau said this, "Do what you love. Know your own bone, gnaw at it, bury it, unearth it, and gnaw on it still." Let me tell you something, my friends over here in the music department. There is a song that hasn't been sung until you sing it. There are words that haven't been written until you write them. Do you know that there are people here on this planet who can't hear anyone else's voice but yours? You possess a wisdom that is unique to your character, a perspective that nobody else can see. So your commission, your mission, your purpose is to let out what you already possess inside of you, what the infinite mind of God has created and set free in this life. Just like the Blues Brothers, you're on a mission from God. And that mission is to follow the path of love, driven by all the passion within you. And if you do that, you cannot fail. I was in my early 20s when I first stepped in the door of a Center for Spiritual Living in Atlanta, Georgia. When I came into this teaching, I was working in retail. And because I was a natural-born leader, every company that I worked for would immediately promote me. So I went from being a salesperson on the floor to assistant manager within a few weeks, to store manager within a year, and then finally to district manager. If you looked at my resume at the time, it was impressive for a 24-year-old man. It showed a steady progression up the corporate ladder. In fact, I took the last position I held as a district manager strictly for that purpose, because somebody told me it'll look really good on your resume. Sidebar, that is the stupidest reason to ever take a job, because it looks good on your resume. And let me tell you something, it ended disastrously. I hated that job. And I know hate is a very strong word, but that is exactly the way I felt every single moment of it, every single day. I hated that job. The job was with a company called American Girl Uniforms. They sold uniforms to nurses, doctors, and hospital workers, and they had stores all over the Atlanta area where I was living at the time. And my job as district manager was to keep all the stores going and all that stuff. Now look at me. Take a good look. Can you imagine me working for American Girl Uniforms? Do you really think this is what God had in mind when it made the good Reverend Dr. Chris Micahels? Really? So there I was traveling around between these boring stores filled with white polyester uniforms, thinking to myself every day, what kind of fresh hell will the new day bring? I held that position for a year, thinking that thought in my mind, and you know, thoughts create. So one day I went into work and my question was answered, because my boss told me, now you get to go to our corporate office for further training in Detroit. Not a glamorous trip. Do you know what Detroit was like in the 80s? It wasn't pretty. It was like New York in the 70s. Boarded up buildings, dirty streets, pollution, crime. So there I am in my life, right where my consciousness had put me, in a job that did I tell you, hated. Living from paycheck to paycheck, always running out of money before the next paycheck, and absolutely dreading the end of the weekend. So much so that by Sunday afternoon I was sick to think had to go to work on Monday. Work was a 4-letter word like all the other 4-letter words. Right livelihood, that Buddhist concept of matching who you are with what you do, was completely foreign to me. It never occurred to me that I had a God-given talent that I could use to build a career. Never. It never once occurred to me. It never occurred to me that I could have passion for my work or that I could ever be happy doing work. And then the day changed when everything turned around, and it's when I stepped in a CSL on a Sunday morning and I heard a lesson just like this one that said, you are entitled to an abundant life, you have a right to live well, and you deserve to be happy. And that, my friends, was my Scarlett O'Hara moment. Remember, I was living in Atlanta at the time, so I had my Gone with the Wind moment. I said, as God is my witness, I will never take another job just to make money. As God as my witness, I will find a way to live well and to be happy. And I went to work the next day at American Girl Uniforms, and I quit that damn job. That's exactly the way I felt about it, too. No, I didn't have another job. No, I didn't have a lot of money. I had enough money to last one more month. No, I didn't have any leads on another job. I walked out in faith. I threw myself on the mercy of the universe. Blind faith, they call it. Now, why do you think I would do something as stupid as quitting a job before I had another one? Because when I did it, immediately I heard my Father's voice in my head, are you crazy? You never quit a job until you have another one. Why do you think I was so intent on doing that? Because I know that consciousness creates. And I know that I needed to put space between doing something that I hated and finding something I could love. I needed time to heal. I couldn't just go from some job that I hated to another job because I would attract another one that I hated. It was too big a leap for me. And I also knew, because I'd taken a few Science of Mind classes here, that if I am willing to put a demand upon the universe, it will provide. And that's because I took the time to build the infrastructure of consciousness, and I had just enough faith, not anymore, but just enough to stand on it. Guess what happened? About a month later, when I was just about out of money, those of you from Atlanta will remember this, an Italian furniture store opened called Innovations, just 5 blocks from my house in Midtown. And I marched over there and I applied for the top position in the company, general manager, and I got that job. And I loved it. And that led me into doing other jobs that I loved in the design industry, and ultimately drove me here to be standing in front of you doing something I love more than anything in the world. The moral of the story and the lesson in creating a rich, full life: add passion first. Put in a full dose of love. Your passion must be guided by love. And then the third ingredient is faith. The founder of our teaching, Dr. Ernest Holmes, said, Prepare your mind to receive the very best that life has to offer. Invest, my friends, in yourself. Invest in your consciousness. Take a class, attend a workshop, read a book, create the infrastructure of a consciousness of wealth. Open an avenue to receive, and I promise you, the good will start pouring in so fast, you won't be able to stop it. If you do a Wikipedia search on Oprah Winfrey, it says she's an actress, a media mogul, a magazine owner, and a philanthropist. You know what? The truth is, Oprah doesn't have a job. Oprah has a passion. And here's her secret. Oprah gets paid for being Oprah. And you should get paid for being you. And so ends the lesson. Part of creating a consciousness that is open and receptive to the good that surrounds us is being still once in a while. The Bible says, "Be still and know that I am God." And so we spend our time together here creating a consciousness of openness to the good that the universe wants to give. Let's close our eyes and be still.
The stillness I find, Spirit meets me there, Spirit meets me there.
It is a challenge living in this world. And not being hypnotized by the fearful to accept so much less than what our hearts really desire. The messages come from all around. It's not your turn, it's not your time. You don't have what it takes. You're not good enough. There's something wrong with you. There's something broken that needs fixed. The messages come endlessly every single day. None of them are true. They're all lies, perpetuated by liars who were lied to. Victims of generations of people who accepted so much less than what God created them for. It's time for us to take exception to the rules of the world, because we're in the world, not of it. We come from Spirit. A perfect life, a perfect love. And because we come from love, we are receivers of it. Because we come from infinite wealth and abundance, we are designed for it and have a right to it. We've come here today to stake our claim for good, to stand on faith that that which created us will sustain us forever. Let's be still in its presence now and allow that knowing to rise up within our own consciousness. Let's be still. I will not be a victim of a fearful world. I am a co-creator with love. My life is a blessing, not something I have to struggle to get through. My life is rich and full and sustained by an infinite supplier of good. It doesn't matter what I run out of, more will always be provided, because that which created us loves us dearly. And that's what you do for people you love. You give them everything. And now we've created an opening to receive it. And so it is.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find, Spirit meets me there, Spirit meets me there. I see you moving all the needy people out my life, and I'm trying to get these crazy thoughts out my mind. Yeah, you gave me all the weapons, but it's still a fight. So help me maintain, help me maintain.
Yeah, I don't want to live my life in stress or fear, 'cause it's getting crazier every day out here. All the love and peace you gave to me, I hold so dear. So help me maintain, help me maintain. 'Cause soon as I walk out the door, I need you more and more. No, see, I realize that sometimes I'm just not that smart, but I desperately want to be where you are. And compared to a while ago, I've gotten far. So help me maintain, help me maintain. Cause soon as I walk out the door, I need you more and more. You know what's in store. I need you more and more. No, I recognize this is a day that you have made. So I walk in love and put a smile on my face. But in case I run into someone on a different page, help me maintain all my joy. Help me maintain all my peace. Help me maintain my sanity. Help me maintain my smile. Help me maintain my life. Help me maintain my heart, Lord God. Help me maintain everybody and everything. Help me maintain. Help me maintain.
Gets me. Every time.
You know that we end our service with this thing called spiritual mind treatment, and it's based upon this affirmation card we give to you as an extension of our service. It is the way we build our affirmative prayer. Would you say it with me, please, out loud? Passion is the rocket fuel of creation. I balance passion with wisdom, which guides me to my highest expressions. Let's know this truth. There's a power for good in the universe that is greater than we are. And that power is seeking demonstration in all that it creates. There is an endless giver and forgiver that has designed and created a universe for its own expression, for its own outlet. You are one of its beings. You have been specifically chosen, uniquely designed by an infinite creator who will never repeat itself. Your DNA is unique. There isn't any other one like you. You have been placed here at this time in history for a reason, because there's something valuable you have to contribute to life. There's a story you need to tell, a song you need to sing, something for you to give to this world that will leave it better than you found it. That's why you're here. Follow the road to love and joy, and you can't go wrong because it always leads to God. Use the passion that runs through your blood to yield the right direction and the right consciousness and the right place at the right time for your highest good. This is the truth that's now established and becomes the foundation that we all can stand on to build a rich, full life. Why? Because we're blessed and loved. And so it is. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.